Welcome to Remainders, where we talk about all the movies that remain. My name is Patrick, and today we're going to be covering 1988's The Blob, final installment of our 80s remakes of 1950s horror films. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds good.
That's right. Yes, very excited for this one. With me is Darren, always looking almost as cool as Kevin Dillon in a leather jacket, but we can only hope for that. So
thanks for saying almost as cool, because who's cooler than Kevin Dillon in like the 80s quintessential bad boy horror role, driving a motorcycle around town and fighting against a blob that is sucking up all the townspeople. I mean, let me just say before we get started, this is the first time that I've seen this film, and as like per usual, I'm very ashamed of myself for not seeing it sooner. I'd also really, really can't believe there's not a Blob 2 after seeing this and seeing how amazing it is and how much I loved it. I'm shocked there's no Blob 2. We'll talk about it, but the end kind of says that there might be one. But to date, from my knowledge, there's no Blob 2. This movie was so fucking perfect. It brought me into the Halloween spirit, and I was feeling like seriously like I had done nothing spooky, like nothing was going to get my spirit up. And I watched this film and I was just instantly put into the spirit of the season. So I hope everybody out there is not too mad at me for seeing this literally just today. But yeah, that's my first reaction. I fucking loved it.
Hell yeah. I was a little worried because like the way this is going. So we watched The Thing, we watched The Fly, now we're watching The Blob all through October, kind of catching the Halloween vibes. And this one is kind of the one that feels least like Halloween. Like it's set in a hot summer. There's snow involved in the movie at some point. Not to give too much away, we'll get to the ending, but like there's not really a Halloween vibe to it other than the fact that it's a creature feature, and that is always appropriate for October.
Well,
so that's why I was just hoping that you weren't gonna, that you would still be on board with the Halloween.
No, I mean, the thing is I think at some point they say something about it being October, but like I can't recall. I forget.
You're right.
They said it. Didn't they say that? Yeah.
I guess it just feels like a summer because it's just a small town. Everybody's out. Yeah, it is technically October, though. You're right.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like the best thing ever because it's kind of like when you watch Stranger Things or different things. It's like it's got this like, okay, like you find out halfway through that there's some like American involvement in like why this thing is around. But, at first you just think it's some sort of virus that comes from outer space. There's all these like cool elements that make up all of these great like kind of 80s B horror movies, and then all the townspeople are like expendable and they've got to like stay in one place and they're all cooped up, but like that's obviously the worst thing you can do because this thing is like wanting to suck up everything, like, and then of course like the practical effects. And I thought there's no reason that Pat would like want to explore this film. I mean, there's a million reasons, but I thought there was no bigger reason than the practical effects. I mean, they are terrific, and I know we'll talk about it, but yeah, that was that was the one thing that was so glaringly Patrick for me.
Hell yeah. I like that you associate me with creature feature effects. So
yeah.
I mean, that has been kind of the through line with this series, with the Thing, The Fly, and The Blob, all 50s classics remade in the 80s, updated for kind of the societal differences between that 30-year gap. But then the other part is all three of them have standout creature feature special effects updated for the 80s. Like, and I've said this 1,000 times and I'll keep on saying it. The fact that horror movies, the mainstream aspect of horror movies in the 80s and the practical effects are being included with them, it'll never happen again in film, and it'll be continued to be studied as like an important relic of film. Because movies like this will come out anomalies, but like it'll never be the industry standard to have these types of special effects for a standard horror movie coming out.
Yeah, it's like for lack of a better word, it's a vibe, right? Like every time you see that and you see these practical effects, you're like, oh, this is the type of movie that I'm watching, and then you instantly can put it in the time period that you think, this was made, which is like I would think probably from the 70s to like the probably 1990, that like 20-year time, maybe even later 70s, but like there's like a window where it's like, okay, that movie was probably made in that window, because it looks this way, because it feels that way. And that's like it's almost like such a like it's almost like a warm hug, you know. It's like, oh, I'm watching this kind of movie. This feels great.
Yeah. The only janky effect throughout the whole movie, and there's a couple janky ones. I mean, most of it is practical and tangible effects, but a couple scenes, I'm just thinking of one right outside the gate, is like near the beginning when they're in the diner and then they're running to the cooler and the blob is like on the ceiling. It just looks like a cartoon version of the blob. And then later when it slaps down on the people when it's attacking the town, it looks awesome, but it's very clearly like early motion capture / a little bit of almost CGI, not quite really actual CGI, but like, I don't know, like it almost feels like a combination of stop motion and that. So
yeah, for sure. And I definitely think there's a lot of different like techniques that they're playing within this. And yeah, some of them, like you said, that one where they're running and it's overhead and it's kind of coming after them. Yeah, that's like, it's pretty
good. Well, it looks amazing, but
yeah, and especially it, like that's kind of like the small amount of cheese that you want these to have, right. And that like effect does it. But yeah, whenever you see the actual practical effects on the people, like, you know, what the blob has done to them, terrific. Some of the best that I've ever seen. And that's why I'm kind of ashamed of myself for not seeing this for so long. It's weird that I've always known about the 50s version, and I saw it a while ago. I told you I wanted to try to watch it again. I know you have, but I wanted to watch it and I didn't get a chance to, with Steve McQueen. And I know you've said that they're drastically different, but like I just kind of, this movie escaped me for some reason. And it's like, it's so up my alley. It's so weird that it has. I mean, was it successful?
I think it was moderately successful. I don't know the box office off the top of my head, but I know it did pretty well. I mean, this is one that was on TV consistently when I was a kid.
Like cable or probably cable, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Because for me, that's why I probably wouldn't have seen it, because I never had cable growing up. So,
yeah.
2, 3, 5, 7, and 9 probably wasn't playing the Blob, you know.
I don't know. Like I said last week, Fox was where my mainstay Saturday afternoon catching the fly. So they usually did a good job for that. Actually, no, it didn't do that well. It only made 8. It was a budget of 10 million. So these are 1988 numbers. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not doing my adjustment calculator on top of my head. Budget of 10 million, and it only grossed 8.2 million. So it actually wasn't that big of a hit. I thought it was bigger. So like we mentioned last week, The Fly was a very successful movie, but The Thing and this one were both kind of flops, and The Thing more so catching its audience. But this is one that's stayed with people. I mean, it's in my estimation, this is a pretty popular 80s horror movie, especially when it comes to creature features. Like this one is consistently on a list of those. So when I see it, and it's certainly included on my list. So,
well, it's kind of too like on the surface level, you're kind of like, how does a blob carry a film? And there's a couple things I think that does that. You know, it's like, one, the practical effects here, like in the way that it like consumes the person that it's, you know, coming after. Clearly, like the direction was fun that way too. Like, you know, oh, it's on the ceiling, it's dropping on them, and then like, you know, the aftermath, and it happens really quickly, which leads to being able to not really quickly for like the people who are dying. It looks like that's like a slow death, but like it happens quickly for the audience to be like, okay, there's one death. Like the death toll rises, and it's like a lot of them, and you're like, okay, how is this one going to be different and fun and cool? I'm sure the practical effects people had so much fun thinking about the ways that these people are going to look and melt within the blob. But also then when they throw in that whole like, oh, this is like a government like trying to make a weapon and gone wrong, you know, which is always so great. These like well, you know, be careful what you do here in the world, because it could kill us, you know, AI, fucking all that shit. It's like, you know, Terminator 2, don't create fucking robots because they're likely going to turn on you and kill you. Like, don't create like some sort of massive weapon for your enemies, because you never know, it might come and slink around and suck you up and turn you into a skeleton.
Well said, very much so. All right, yeah, let's take a step back and like look at like, so talk about really quick about the original. So I watched the original. I think the original is mostly just a classic because of Steve McQueen. because as like a monster movie, it's not that special at all.
They're just basically running around half the time.
I mean, they're running around and mostly just talking about it. I'm not usually one to say this, but there was not a lot of Blob in the movie, the original Blob. Like, it was just very random. And
I need more Blob. I need more Blob.
More Blob. Yeah, it was. I watched it. I realized how much I did not remember about it. I knew I had seen it, but obviously maybe I kind of checked out maybe when I watched it like 20 years ago. But I watched it with my coffee earlier this week. And I had a good time watching it, but I think that movie is largely just a classic because it was a precursor for the Steve McQueen that we would get. As in, like, if any other actor was in that who just didn't go anywhere, that would have been mostly a forgotten creature feature movie from the 50s. I think
you're right. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember seeing it and being like, "Oh, I like it because I'm supposed to like it." You know what I mean? It's like, and the idea of it is cool. You know,
because it is in the Criterion edition. Like, it has a Criterion release, so obviously they think it's worthy of your time. But I think that's largely just with age that it's aged into something. Because as a monster movie, it wasn't anything special. So that's I am definitely 3 for 3. All 3 of the remakes I drastically love far more than the 50s originals. So
so pulling back again, how did this film, like, it was inspired by that film, right? I mean, it is considered a remake, right?
It is definitely considered a remake, but then this one basically updates it, and we'll definitely get into it because, like, one of my favorite things about this rewatch was viewing it from the lens of Frank Darabont. He did the screenplay with Chuck Russell. We'll talk about Chuck Russell, who actually has a really cool directing career. But Frank Darabont directed Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, and The Mist, the Stephen King trio, The Majestic, which I've never seen, which you said you like a lot. And
I didn't say I liked it. I remember not liking it, but I wanted to go back. I remember rewatch it. Yeah, we talked about it last week, but there was something about that film. From what I recall, it was Jim Carrey. And it was kind of about like a movie theater, but it's been a while. And I remember kind of being like, oh, it's not great. But I remember wanting to see it specifically for Darabont, which we were talking about now. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one I've never seen. I would watch that. But then also him kickstarting, bringing The Walking Dead to screen. And obviously that didn't go the full way, but the first 2, maybe 3 seasons, probably just the first 2 were largely his construction. And, a lot of people, I think, point to those as like the better seasons. And so kind of viewing it from it's interesting. It's like, this movie is so a template for what he did in The Mist. And it's interesting that you said, like, there's no sequel to The Blob. Cause as far as I know, there's no direct sequel to this, but like The Mist almost serves as a direct sequel to this movie.
Remind me, that's like 2005 or something like that. It's like
2007,
right? Okay.
Yeah. Marcia Gay Hayden, she's the preacher that goes crazy. That's a lot of people's thing they remember the most.
I've seen it. I kind of can't recall though. Yeah, is it kind of like The Fog, or
I love The Mist. It's more like this movie than The Fog. It's like The Fog, Carpenter's is like all ambience. So this movie is kind of a conspiracy theory in terms of the original was just 100% an alien that came, and that's the whole plot. I guess we could just say the plot. A homeless man sees a comet come down, and it turns into a blob, starts sucking everybody up. That's basically the plot for both the original and this one. The original is just a full-on alien blob that comes down and starts eating people. This one, you assume it's that, and then it turns out to be the government functioning weapon that they created and was accidentally or maybe actually purposely released among the people, and that's when the government comes in and tries to contain it. So it does kind of work as an updated 80s era, as far as I'm understanding. Like the MO of the 80s was that government was bad. I mean, that's Reagan's full on stuff.
They live.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So the number one threat that people's minds in the 80s was government. And so,
oh, geez, what kind of parallel is there to today? None, right?
And so there's the government aspect, but then there's also a little bit of the religious aspect. We have Del Close. He's the preacher, the reverend who finds the frozen pieces of the thing, and he ends up keeping it, and the end of the movie is him like almost like worshiping it. It's basically him preserving it for whatever reason as a way to like revive his spirituality. And so both of those things are 100% present in The Mist. It's just flipped a little bit for the times in 2007, where religion is kind of more on people's mind. You still have the Bush 2 in the White House. But so yeah, that's where you have Marsha Gay Harden's character 100% worshiping and abiding to the mist. And then it's still a government functioning weapon, the mist, in that movie. That's just kind of a downplayed plot. So it's like both of them are still there for both these movies. He just kind of flips it for in 2007 for the changing times and like what people are most scared of like religion in 2007, most scared of government in the 80s. So
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I do love it. And it's like such a nice little moment when you find out, oh, it's not just some alien. There actually is like a, and then in that sense, it's not like there's any government like fear, I think, in ET, but it kind of feels like ET in a way where it's like, oh, there's this like alien kind of presence but then there's all of these government workers coming in trying to like figure it out or wanting to seize it and have control of it because it means something. Like it does kind of feel like ET when you get to that moment in this film. I don't know why, but yeah. I
mean, 80s, when you look back, being fearful of the government was all over mainstream movies in the 80s. Like, I think one that I'm certainly not the first one to point this out, but like Ghostbusters, the fact that the EPA is like the bad guy in that movie is like a total relic of that time. It's like, yeah, anybody with half a brain would want to shut down people who are fighting ghosts, and they just turn Peck into the absolute bad guy because he works for the government. So
such a great bad guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, but again, it's like that was certainly the MO for a lot of mainstream movies in the 80s, and as it should be. It's like that movie should represent kind of like what is the general fear of the time. If you're going to do it in a general way, but then if you subvert it like They Live, that's going to be timeless. So
nice. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, watching a movie like this, you kind of, as I always talk about, like put yourself a little bit in the times that you were living in. So I like that you kind of like gave us a little background on what was happening in the world. Because if you don't know, a lot of these films, they do like want to have some sort of like underneath tone for it underneath, or some sort of message underneath. Like, have you seen Weapons yet?
I have not. I know it's on HBO, so it's on my queue to watch it.
I won't talk about it too much. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the film.
Really? Your first one to say they didn't love it. So
there's a lot of people that love this fucking movie, and it's not like I didn't. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it like everyone else did. And one of the reasons why is because like the whole time I think they're trying to like have a message that isn't really super clear. Seems a little insider baseball, or if it even is like apparent, it might be apparent to only like some people who like are really smart on the subject that I've read it's about. But yeah, that's kind of my reasoning. You tell me what you think when you watch it. And I know you're kind of the person that doesn't need that, you don't need to have some sort of like message underneath it. It just needs to be like a good movie. It's like you don't need to have some sort of perfect ending with a bow on it or some sort of like charge for why they're making the movie. But I do feel like, a lot of these films, like you just mentioned, they are trying to say something, even if it's not over the head, right?
Well, yeah, the difference now is the world we live in now, it's no longer subtext, it's just text. So it's like if a movie's critiquing like racism, for example, it's like there's going to be a character who explicitly says racism is bad, and that's what this movie's about. Whereas social commentary back in the day was just a little bit more nuanced, and it was the subtext of the movie. So that's the kind of difference with a lot of movies now, where it's just like it's very overt.
Yeah, you have to make sure you say it very focused. Yeah,
right. And that's there's political reasons for that. There's
money reasons. Yeah,
TikTokification, if that's even a word, of movies.
Yeah,
limited attention span. So that's just generally like if there is a message, it's usually beaten over the audience's head now, whereas back in the day it was a little bit more subtle. You kind of dig for it. So I'm not saying which was right or wrong, just that is a little bit of the difference. So yes, I am excited for Weapons, so I will be reporting back on that. But yeah, maybe sticking on Frank Darabont. Well, no, that's actually everything I had about Darren.
Well, I would just want to say something about Frank there. About you, right? About that. When I knew he was involved in like The Walking Dead, when I first started watching that, I was so excited. You didn't take much for you to like that guy or know his name when you loved Shawshank Redemption, and then you kind of got to know, like, that was sort of the window into it for me. And I just kind of thought of this guy as like really, really smart, and then getting involved in The Walking Dead, and then kind of hearing subsequently like he was fired or whatever happened there. Like, it was kind of like, whoa, but this was his show or whatever. So yeah, like knowing that this film had he had a big part in it really made me enjoy it more too. Not that like I think I see any kind of like symbolism that he would do or anything like that. It just feels like a really well written movie with a great concept. With a little cheesy acting, which is like you even like that, it's like that's the 80s sort of like wink and a nod like thing with, it's like there's not really, I guess it was 10 million, so in those days that sounds like a lot of money to make a movie, but I imagine a lot of that was spent on the practical effects and maybe not.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
that is kind of like what I liked about this one the best out of the three that we watched, is that this was the one that kind of kept the B movie sensibilities the most.
I guess that's what I mean. Yeah,
exactly.
Because of the acting being just slightly kind of like weak sometimes, Yeah.
It's not, it has all this kind of social commentary that we're talking about, but it's still like a cheesy B horror movie that like, you just want to have fun with Kevin Dillon in a leather jacket fighting the Blob. So
and Kevin Dillon fucking like saying all the things that you want to hear. It's like, come on, man, or dude.
Very quippy. He's Quip Master 3000 in this movie for sure.
And like, of course, he's like the bad guy. Like they even like the cops even calling him boy. Come on, boy. Like, and then he's like. Trying to like, it's amazing too at the beginning, it as like as a viewer, if you have like any brains at all, it's like he's going to try to jump this, and that's going to come into play later on in the movie, and of course he doesn't make it the first time, but of course like that's part of his like characters, like for no reason at all, where no one's around, I'm gonna drink a beer, smoke a cigarette, and try to jump a fucking like broken like that's like the stuff that you love about movies like this, is that there's like that. It makes no, and of course, every time he wipes out on that bike, it's like the stupidest wipeout ever.
He does it a lot.
And it happens often.
Yeah. It just reminded me of something. I was just thinking about that. So we've talked about like Back to the Future as often regarded as like the perfect film script, just in the terms of like every single thing that happens in the movie gets a
payoff kind of
payoff. Yeah, exactly. Like it's a perfectly symmetrical script. And I could definitely tell that this movie's not nearly as successful as doing that, but it clearly is trying to do something similar. Like there's just so many things between like the snow machine at the beginning, the motorcycle jump you just mentioned, even to the kid putting on his jacket you're right, his mother says, it's October, you're putting on your jacket, and he struggles with the zipper. Yeah. And then that's the zipper that ends up like preventing him from
it's going to come back and haunt
him killed at the end. So the writers were clearly looking at like a script like Back to the Future, where like we're going to try to tune it to where like almost everything that happens gets a payoff at some point. So
yeah, totally. Or like an ET with the keys, you're constantly seeing that key on the guy, and they don't really meet the man until later, but it has something to do with what's happening in the movie. Yeah, and then I'll say this too, like
I like how those keys are almost like the donut of the Jaws, like where it's just like this little just sound effect. It triggers the audience. Yeah, not to cut you off, but yeah.
No. But
I've always liked that about those keys. So
but again, like masterfully done.
Yeah, exactly.
But in here, like you're right. Like, okay, we're gonna use the zipper on the kid, and that's gonna be like some sort of revelation. It's fun, That's not like a big like, oh, holy shit. Like,
well, it is good writing though. It is like, it's not just them putting in lines for the sake of lines. It's like, even if you don't like, if it doesn't like work for you, like the line and the scene of him struggling with the zipper is in there for a reason. So it's and there's a lot of movies that will put that in there for no reason. So
yeah, no, totally. But also the payoff in those scenes is like so great, like because of what happens to the character, right? Like, that one kid who gets it, and then under the water. So I
always say it, every movie that has the balls to kill a kid fucking rules. Like it's so, and it gets me like every time. It doesn't happen very often. Like Assault in Precinct 13, that John Carpenter's first movie, I always think of. Just any movie that really does kill a kid what is it? Did Humanoids from the Deep that had a did that have a kid that
Yes,
killed?
it did, and it
Yeah,
was a fantastic fucking scene.
Like it's not that often.
So did
And
Cronenberg's A History of Violence, right? In the very beginning of the film.
yeah, that's right. That one is off. That one's off screen.
It's off screen, yeah, but
that
it's brutal
true,
though.
But that is true, yeah. But yeah, this one's very much on screen.
Yeah, and I like that. Like any movie that has the balls to kill a kid, like it's usually pretty good. And that scene with him, like you're kind of like he's fucked. I mean, like if that blob touches you at all, you're fucked. Like so that girl to go back and like go under the water to try to like help, like was nonsensical. Because like at this point, if he didn't trip, he got fucking roped in by the blob, so of course it was going to be that. I almost need to go back and pause that because it was so good, but it was so quick. Like again, the practical effects in this are just so fucking amazing. Good. You know,
one of my favorite shots right before this was during the. So this is everything we just talked about. It was just after the movie theater, but like in the movie theater when the projectionist he sticks his head into the air duct because the air conditioning is off, and you see the blob just come up to his face. And then the manager walks into the room, looks up, and the projectionist like hanging, like his face. That's kind of one of my favorite because you can still see. That's like the beauty of like a lot of these effects, and it's the picture that you sent me. It's the characters, but just three quarters melted, basically, and so you can still see it's the actor. But I didn't not even the actor. It's just like that's how good the special effects are. That the plastic and the tangible effects actually look like the actor that was portrayed before he was melted. So
yeah, well, so the photo that Pat's talking about is we always do this thing about the kind of the villains or like characters, and it's called and he's this charming man, and we'll send it before the episode. And so today,
people who have the most charm at some point, if not just look the most charming in the movie.
So and I love that we do that, but that at one point, I thought that was my favorite part of the movie while I was watching it. Like it was so good. So, but I thought that was the sheriff in that. And so what it was, so to the people out there, well, I'm just going to frame it.
It is.
So yeah, like the picture I sent is like when, the blob is taking over the, over the phone booth. Yeah. And it's like, you're like, okay, this is like just going to get her. But then the extra added bonus is that the face that pops up in the phone booth, which she can see, it is the person she's trying to call on the phone, which is the sheriff who went to go check out what was happening. And his face is so perfect. And that actor, by the way, is Dale in The Walking Dead. We'll talk about that in a minute. But why don't you, you were saying something about that. Did you think it was a different character or not?
No, I was saying that's the beautiful part about it is that you could still, that's how good the effects are, because that clearly is not the actor with anything on his face.
Right. It's just like a mold.
You can still tell it's like a completely made up effects, but like they're so well done that it's just perfectly 3/4 melted of the actor's face. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so
but you're right. You could have thought that would have been the guy who got sucked up in the drain, which was like, it totally wasn't. But you could have thought that because that's what happened,
or just some rando person. But that's the beauty of like kind of almost the callback. Even though this one is like 1 second after it, she's on the phone and you hear the receptionist at the office say like, "Oh, he just went down to the diner." 2 seconds later, you see his face sliding across the.
So good, so fucking good. Probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. But yeah,
that's Jeffrey DeMunn, who is Darabont's main guy. He's in everything. He's in Shawshank. He's in this. He's in Shawshank Redemption. He's in Green Mile. He's in The Mist, and then Walking Dead. He's the moral compass. Dale in The Walking Dead. Yeah,
Dale, and so good in The Walking Dead. So
really good. One of the more tragic and effective deaths when he passes in that. Pretty terrible. Yeah, I remember that being a highlight for sure.
Fucking Winnebago, so great. What a character too. This is like the guy who's just like retiring and gonna travel the world in his Winnebago. Boom, zombie apocalypse. So great.
Yeah, I was like his. I saw a scene. It was him warning. I forget his name though. It was the main guy who ends up dating. No, he ends up dating the farmer's daughter. He went through
Herschel.
No, Herschel's the farmer's, but what's his name? God, I'm terrible with these names. Why am I forgetting his name? Who's some of the main characters of The Walking Dead? He's like one of the main guys.
Oh, you're talking about Rick? Rick Tater?
No, not Rick.
Oh, Glenn?
Glenn, yeah.
Oh, yeah, fucking Glenn, yeah.
I'm such a retard. I watched this whole show. I binged this show too fast that I don't remember any fucking details anymore. Dale has a scene with Glenn when he's warning him not to go fuck the farmer's daughter. And it's just a hilarious scene of him talking about women and giving him moral advice. And then when he finds out, he already had sex with her, he's like, the face on Dale is priceless. I love it.
I haven't seen that show since, I never rewatched it, and I watched it in real time when it was on. So it's like, that's now a while ago, which is just fucking crazy to me. But I wonder how that holds up. I mean, you just watched it. Pretty good?
No, I hated it.
You did? You didn't like it?
It was great. I just made the mistake of binge watching this show that went on for way too long and is a soap opera, and it's still going on. So the fact that I binged it was the biggest mistake. Like, because the show is not meant to like be like a story. It's just an ongoing collection
each season
of characters.
Is like some kind of new.
They're all the same though.
Yeah, no, they are. Yeah,
yeah. And so I would have liked it way more if I had stretched it out, or if I had been like watching it in real time. But I mean, from what I hear, like people who like really love the earlier show, like they agree that the show went to shit like in the last like several seasons. So
I'll never forget watching it, and like when Rick like had taken like he blew up on the bridge, or they don't know, and then all of a sudden it's like no, but he was abducted. I was out after that, but like there was a show called Talking Dead that was like basically
I remember that.
Yeah. And they would basically talk about the episode. I mean, the show was so popular, and we would wait for the Talking Dead. They would talk about it. They have all the guests on and all the stuff. And Chris Hardwick was the guy. But I remember there was like this guy, Scott Gimple, was the guy who was like the showrunner. And they're like, well, don't you wait. We're going to have a whole universe, and we're going to split off the different things. And at that point I was like, oh, you're fucked. Like because this show is so popular, they didn't want to end it, but then they're like, oh, the way we can keep it going is just like cut. And now it's so convoluted. I don't know anybody who watches that other than like maybe people who are just like super into zombies or something like that. But yeah.
Daryl has a show. Rick has a show. Maggie has a show. Now I'm remembering their names. So, right. Yeah, there's a show for each of them, so there might be even more than that. So,
yeah. Anyway, enough with that. Frank Darabont.
When I watched it, like I loved the first two seasons. So again, I think Darabont was kind of like the driving force behind that for sure. So, and understandably so.
Yeah.
Okay, so written by Darabont, directed by Chuck Russell.
Yeah, let's talk about him. I don't know much about Chuck Russell.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3. These are some other movies he directed. Dream Warriors, often viewed as like a favorite for the whole series of Elm Street. I know that is oftentimes people put that at number one as their favorite Elm Street movie. Where do you stand on Elm Street? We don't talk about Elm Street too much because it's not my favorite franchise of the big three by far. I love Halloween and Friday the 13th way more, but I still enjoy Elm Street.
Agreed. 1,000%.
I
think Freddy is such a great character, but I almost like him as like when it gets campy towards the later times. Like he always,
I think most people kind of,
yeah. But it's like when that happens and it's like funny Freddy, and then I'm like 100% in for that kind of stuff. Like you mentioned, Jason versus Freddy. I watched that semi recently, maybe within this last year, and I remember just being like, "Fuck, I love this! This is so good." But at the same time, like if I watch the first one where it's supposed to be like, it's fine. It's like I love the idea and the concept too. Like this thing comes to get you like in your dreams, and it's like you can't go to sleep. That's terrifying. But like Robert Englund is like I also watched the remake that they did of that with the other actor,
Jackie Earle Haley.
Not great, I was like,
no, okay. Nobody likes that one. Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard anybody fully defend that one. I've heard people defend Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy, as his performance being like the only good part of that movie, but I don't think anybody likes that movie too much. So,
yeah, I mean, rebooting any of that stuff is hard to do. They did a really good job with Halloween, like time and time again. And we love that. So,
well, to be honest, that one is the only remake that I don't like because I love. I mean, we've talked about it. The Rob Zombie one, especially two, it's one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time. I love the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and I really love the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. So like the Friday or the Nightmare on Elm Street is kind of the only remake that I thought was kind of not successful at all. So
yeah. So anyway, just to answer your question, yeah, that's kind of where I am with that.
Yeah,
love Robert Englund though. Like he's great.
I mean, yeah, I would. There's more stuff I would like to talk about Elm Street at some point, but yeah, Dream Warriors. That's the one with Trish Arquette.
I mean, I told you the other day that I hung out with the Dream Child. Yeah.
I don't think so. Wait a minute, who's the Dream Child?
So the number 5 is called the Dream Child, and the Dream Child, the actor that plays the Dream Child, we went on a night hike here in Los Angeles together, and I realized, but all I knew. So he's a friend of a friend, and he was in Jurassic Park as the kid who is like looks like a big turkey or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just put it to, so I saw his face. Okay. No, you didn't mention that. That's awesome though. That's pretty cool. I saw his face recently and I recently put it together that was that kid. So
super, super nice guy. We didn't talk about any of this stuff at all, but of course the whole time I was like, yeah, it's fucking the Dream Child. You know, that's fucking Jurassic Park. I gotta get if I want to fucking say something about it, but you know, I didn't.
Just looks like a 6-foot turkey or something.
The thing is, Pat, it is alive. You are alive when it starts to eat you. The fuck out of here. So good.
Same deal. Love it. Chuck Russell, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, 1994 Jim Carrey classic, The Mask. And he's often attributed to like the really why that movie is so visually striking and like the comedic tone of that movie. Just the look of that movie. And you can see it with this, like the purple, pink aesthetics of this movie throughout. You can tell. Even the titling and stuff. The credits at the beginning, there's a through line of it and there's a visual style to this. And so,
when I saw that, I kind of has that too. Like, sorry. Maybe that's an 80s thing, but go ahead. Yeah,
for sure. But then understanding that Chuck Russell will go on to make The Mask, which is like one of the most cartoonish comic booky looking movies of all time. I haven't seen it in years, but like it is like a very visually striking movie. So like when I saw that it was him who directed it, I was like, that makes total sense with this one. So
yeah. And I loved when you showed me like the screen of the Blob that you were watching. I can't remember if that's a DVD or the 4K edition. I know you're collecting physical media lately, but that looked pretty like cartoonish, like a really cool like drawing or something like that.
Yeah, that was done with Scream Factory. So that's the release I got, their release of the Blu-ray, and that was their aesthetics and drawings. Actually, yeah. So like the insert has it. So that was like Scream Factory, Shout Factory's artwork when they did their release of the Blob. So they were definitely leaning into that pink purple aesthetic for sure. So
yeah, I love that. Again, like, you know, these movies have like a pretty good life, like afterwards, you know, like clearly I think somebody like me who just saw it is like, okay, I can't wait to watch it again. I'm going to tell a ton of people about it. I should have seen this a long time ago. We're doing a podcast on it. I love the life that these films are having. And I love the fact that they're like looked at least, and I agree with you that they're better than the originals. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. 100%. So yeah, I should watch The Mask. I haven't seen that in a long time. It's getting a 4K release by Arrow just recently. So
which film? I'm sorry.
The Mask.
Oh,
Jim Carrey movie. Yeah. So and then he also directed the underrated 90s Arnold flick Eraser, in which there's a scene where Arnold fights a bunch of CGI alligators, which I always liked as a kid. So
never saw it, but I know the film. That's
he goes toe to toe with James Caan. So that's pretty fun. Yeah.
Shit. Sonny Corleone, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not a great movie, but it is kind of like, you know, it's an underrated 90s Arnold, if you want good throwback that you might not have seen from the 90s. So it's a good one.
During the pandemic, we saw The Mask at in Griffith Park. They did like a drive-in type of thing, and you could just like sit on the lawn and watch it. My girlfriend dressed up as Jim Carrey with like the whole like yellow suit and stuff. It was really fun.
Oh
yeah,
that would have been hilarious if she dressed up like that, but then they were showing Mask starring Eric Stoltz and Cher.
Yeah, totally.
And she would just be like, oh, the egg on my face. Right
I went and saw the wrong Mask. Yeah, totally. Yeah, really great stuff, man. I love knowing that guy also did that film. That's kind of, I don't know much about him, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, before kind of checking this out, diving deep. If you had just said Chuck Russell, I wouldn't have put those together or
Right,
realized
exactly.
that he directed it. You know, a lot of directors are just like that. You know, it's not like they're just good working directors. They don't necessarily make a name for themselves, but like they obviously have successful careers because they are able to jump from genre to genre and be successful in a lot of different
He's definitely scored with The Mask, but then again, you know, that was Jim Carrey just killing the box office and everything he did.
That's probably the most successful year an actor's ever had, because it was Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask all within those 12 months in 94.
Whoa.
Yeah, like legit, like within those 12 months, all three of those
shit
released.
That still blows my mind too. Fucking Jurassic Park in that year as well, right? Speed.
The year before, 93 was Jurassic Park.
I mean, what was
Speed was 94,
in the 90s, dude? What the fuck?
There's a reason why we talk a lot about it. So it was a special time for sure. I know. I was just thinking the other day of how this is just going to make me sound old, but like seeing Jurassic Park, I would have been 8, maybe I would have been 9 in the theater, seeing it in the theaters, and just how special it was to see but seeing Jurassic Park on the big screen, because this is still certainly pre like smartphones, pre-phones, pre-big screen TVs. I mean, we only have like a 19-inch TV, one TV growing up. So it's like, it was still a time when like going to a theater was like a huge fucking deal. And then to see Jurassic Park at such a young age on that big of a screen, it's like, I almost like feel bad that that's something that younger people won't ever experience, because and they're just raised on screens. So it's like, it's not their fault, but like going to a theater, I understand kids are just like not as impressed with just seeing a giant screen of a movie anymore because of that.
And that's why I was saying, like, I liken it too to seeing Batman and Batman Returns, like, well, more so the verse Batman. It's kind of the same deal. You were just like, it was in the air, like people are talking about it. You got to see this film, and it was so big. And then you go and see it, and it was everything that you had heard and more. And then you go to McDonald's, your parents treat you to a Happy Meal, and you got the fucking toy, and it's like, like that kind of consumerism I was here for, you know, like I love that. And I have all the, like, you know,
it was fun consumerism
of it is great. But yeah, can you think of, I mean, nowadays, I guess like they do that, but they do it in the form of like, I don't know much about McDonald's. I don't think in the last 10 years I've had it maybe more than twice, but you know, I'm also don't have kids, and I don't know what they're getting in their Happy Meal toys. Like, is that like anything to do with the movies? Do they theme it anymore to that? I mean, you could get fucking here's like the Flintstones movie. They got like, you know, glasses and stuff. There's a reason that nostalgia is such a big deal for people like our age, because like people want to go back to that.
It's almost backwards now. And I think they said there's like a joke about like this in the studio, but like the product is almost what comes first and then the movie. So it's like something like Minecraft. Like
Kool-Aid? Yeah.
The Kool-Aid thing, because that is a perfect example of that. It's not like, you're right. In the 90s, like a movie would come out and then they would market merchandise. Now it's like merchandise or whatever comes first, and then they make a movie off of that, and then that becomes the biggest movie.
Well, that's what I was telling my friend, and I had that because he deals with all this kind of stuff and the nostalgia. When we were talking, I had mentioned that like I'd seen recently like the Schumacher like versions of the Batman movies.
Ooh,
and at that point, you know, there was he kind of felt the same way. Like, and I was like, I like them too better now than I did back then, because it was
100%.
Okay, now they're switching it around. There's another director, and it's more like slapsticky, kind of like the original Batman. But then also, what happened is that they introduced so many new characters, and like in my mind, solely for the fucking marketings, for like having more toys, for having more money, you know, more things that people could be for Halloween. Like it got so crazy. But again, I appreciate it so much more now than I did then for some reason.
Everything crazy ages well. I'll just say that, and I'll definitely speak to that for the Schumacher ones. So
yeah. Anyway, back to the Blob. I don't mean to keep getting off it, because I do like this movie blew my mind this morning when I watched it, and I was so happy that we were going to cover it because I hopefully this will get out tonight and people will be able to be like have one more movie that they could watch on their list right before like we're recording this on Devil's Night, the night before Halloween, which is tomorrow, and hopefully people can have one more film that'll spark their interest to see this as one more film before Halloween.
Hell yeah, I'm all for that. Shawnee Smith.
Yeah, I don't know much about her after this.
Well, what I know her the most, so she almost becomes kind of like the hero of this movie. She kicks some major ass at the end.
Yeah, she almost looks like a role reversal. All of a sudden, it's like her hair is wet. She got the fucking machine gun.
I mean, I think most people know her from, she's kind of like been a regular on the Saw movies. I think she was in the original. She was in the original and she's been in a bunch of the sequels. I've only seen the first 2 Saws. I've actually never seen any of them.
I agree. Like maybe the first 3.
But I know she is a face of that franchise often. So
I don't remember much of the Saw past Donnie Wahlberg's Saw movie, which may have been the first one.
I think that was 2. First one was Carrie Elways.
Oh, that's right. It's Carrie Elways.
Yeah.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive.
Was that your Carrie Elways or was that Jigsaw?
That's my son, dude.
Okay,
fuck out of here. Carrie Elways, though, by the way, Princess Bride. Come on, we love him. Also, Carrie Elways in one of the most underrated and underlooked Dracula universe movies, or Nosferatu, Shadow of the Vampire.
Was he in Shadow?
If I remember right, I think he plays like one of the actors that are in like the movie.
Oh, nice.
Like maybe like I don't know.
Was he in Bram Stoker's Dracula?
No, I'm talking about the Shadow. You've seen Shadow?
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time. I know the Shadow of the Vampire. It's been a long time that I've seen it. I just don't remember him in either of those.
I guess I'm gonna get like some shit if I'm not right. So I'm gonna just look it up really quick.
Yeah, Carrie Elways Vampire. Google it up. Give us the download.
Fucking cast. Yeah. Fritz Arno Wagner, get the fuck out of here. Carrie Elways, I was
from the Shadow, right?
From Shadow, yeah,
yeah, okay.
Which I saw in the theater, by the way.
Hell yeah,
yeah. That's some. If you want, I think that's like. I should give myself some props for that. Seeing that in the theater it was great. Anyway, go ahead.
I know you like to give yourself props. So.
I do. Especially
as you should. Like that. I'm not busting your balls. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Art LaFleur. He is Shawnee's dad. I know him as Babe Ruth in The Sandlot. That's where his face always comes up. Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. Wow.
Talk about 90s staple. He was the giving the advice to Benny the Jet Rodriguez. So he's got a couple good moments in this when the kid's buying the condoms at the beginning and it turns out to be the one.
Yeah. So good. And that was also a really fun part because it's kind of like, that actually is really great writing, if you ask me.
Right, it's just the callback. I mean, everything's payoff.
But the callback,
even if it's like 2 seconds later, so
even more creative because, like, in the first part, you're hearing the guy talk about like, "Oh, it's for my friend," like, "Don't worry," to the pastor. It's not for me, it's for my friend. And the guy comes in, he's like, "Do you want ribbed or regular?" He's like, "Ribbed, I guess," And he's like, and then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we don't want to keep that girl waiting." And then the fun part about it all is that like when the friend goes to the house to date the girl, her father thinks he's like this creep because the guy obviously was lying. It was the condoms were for him, but he lied and said it was about that guy. So now the guy's got to talk his way out of this mess, which is just a fun fucking write-in for the film,
Yeah. Can we talk about, I don't remember his name, but is it Scott? The friend buying the condoms. And the bar that he has in his car trunk.
Thank you for bringing it up because, like, for some reason, I had not thought about it again since I watched it. And that scene was excellent. Why the fuck did he have a fucking mixer? Like and why did he need that? I don't know, but it was great. And like, yeah, opens up his trunk and he's got this weird ass bar. Like some shit that's in there, like you don't even need for like a bar, but yeah,
it's all like, date night stuff. He's got the Banaka. This time I noticed he's got the rings. He's got a whole collection of rings.
The rings?
The girl he's dating, who's in the car, has that on it. So he's just a player. He gives a ring to every girl that he's dating.
So he just has replicas of his like school
that's
ring.
like it. That's his like his little MO to like every girl that he's dating. So
yeah, genius.
And then that's Erica Eleniak that he's dating. She only got one line, but she would go on to be a Baywatch,
right?
Be popular in that show. So
also, I just gotta say, like, I hope. Let's keep going, but the deaths in this, I want to talk about a few specific deaths because that one is so good. Like she's sleeping and he's like, classic. The classic horror movie shit. You're on a date and you're gonna get fucking killed because of sex and horror movies just don't always mix very well. But he's like, okay, being a creep, and he's like, oh, let me see. He's like, oh, you got a nice brassiere on today.
It's getting warm out here.
Yeah, it's hot out here. He's like, all the things you want to hear this guy say. He's mixing a cocktail in his trunk of his fucking car with his player. Yeah, the Banaka is so great. And then he puts his hand down her fucking thing, and then like her turn like into what the Blob, it's just amazing scene.
Her face like implodes from like inside, like it almost implies it basically implies that the Blob's like inside of her and her face is getting sucked into it.
Like it almost sucked the skeletal out of her. And then all of a sudden like the thing comes after him, and then he kicks the thing out, and that's what I mean, like the direction is great, like those scenes are made even better by the way it's directed. And then one other one that's just so great is then his friend is like in the hospital, and he's kind of like, holy shit, the guy's hand, the homeless guy, like trying to let everybody know. And then of course it's on the ceiling and it drops on him. And that scene when it's coming back and the way his eyes are and they're sunken in, and he's like, and then you see like it reaches out his hand and she's trying to help him. And of course it melts off. Maybe because of the fact that like we have HD now and everything and you can see stuff, but you could see the practical effects in that when they like drop down and you've got the hand and it's like in the ground and you can see them controlling the hand from the ground, which is like, it's kind of endearing,
totally.
But anyway, yeah.
I'll take a little bit of that over CGI any day.
For sure. 1000%. But then also one other of my favorites, I know you talked about the production guy, that was great too, but dude, getting like sucked down the drain, Really
the poor guy, dude.
I know.
The shot to the pipe just bulging.
Oh, right. So good. That was like
perfect cutaway. So
that's what I mean. Like every time you're kind of like for the deaths, every time you're like, this is great, no matter what, it gives you that little extra. Like the guy in the phone booth, like showing up against the wall. It's like everything you want.
Love it. Jack Nance actually shows up. He's the doctor at the beginning. Eraserhead, David Lynch staple, Twin Peaks. So it's good to see.
I didn't see it. I didn't. Well,
he's kind of got almost a face where you don't always realize it's him, because he looks slightly different in everything he's been in, and he also aged kind of fast. I don't know, something. So like I did notice him basically being a Lynch staple. Bill Moseley actually has an uncredited cameo. He's the soldier in the sewer who's got that rocket. So Bill Moseley, the classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Devil's Rejects.
The guy who's like basically like
he's freaking out when they're in the sewer after they do the
and then they blow the top off the sewer. That was him. That was his.
Yeah, so that's that soldier down there freaking out. That's Bill Moseley. So total legend. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't barely. I mean, he's got the mask on the entire time, and he's just freaking out. So, just love that. Couple other people who show up. Paul McCrane, he's kind of the deputy, one of the absolute essential bad guys in the group for RoboCop. He's the one who actually gets melted at the end. So,
hell yeah. I noticed him. I kept on like being like, where do I know him from?
Yeah. He has that great moment with Kevin Dillon. Kevin Dillon's so like fucking charming and cocky in this movie. He's like so like he's just the perfect balance of being like the street punk, but he's also genuine and confident in himself, but not necessarily in a dickish way. I don't know. He toes the line of like just the kind of perfect like
he's not
bad,
like
the bad kid who just got like a bad rap though. Yeah, exactly. He's not a jerk to anybody. He's like he's the only one like shows empathy, especially with like the homeless guy. There's just a bunch of scenes where it's like, it's not just a one-sided character, but Paul McCrane is like getting in his face, like telling he's going to take him downtown. and arrest him. And Kevin Dillon just licks his face. It's just like a way to say fuck you, because he's like sitting there like handcuffed to the chair. So it's such a hilarious moment.
I wonder if that was improvised or not, because when I was watching, I was like, that's fucking great. Like, fucking lick his face. Like, that would get. I can't imagine that guy wasn't like, if it was real life, wouldn't pummel him.
Totally.
It's such a dick thing to do at that point. But yeah, he's not a jerk. He's like, yeah, endearing, and yeah, like maybe that has something to do with us like seeing him, try to help the homeless guy too. He's like, oh wait, like you got something on your hand, bro. And that scene is so bizarre too. Like the guy just comes up and he's like hacking his arm off, like, and then he's like, yeah, right.
Great little corporatism moment when they try to bring him and get him medical attention.
Oh, you got Blue Cross? Yeah.
Does he have Blue Cross?
So good. Oh, sorry. The doctor's actually busy right now. He's with somebody else. Like, okay, this Blob is taking over this guy. So
right. Oh man. And then Del Close is the Reverend. He plays the Reverend who ends up worshiping the Blob. I guess he was a Second City alum. Apparently he was in the sequel that I didn't know about of the original movie Beware the Blob from 1972. So he played a hobo with an eye patch, and he ends up having his eye getting torn out in this movie too. So nice little.
Is that the credit? Hobo with an eye patch.
That's what I said. He plays like a homeless guy with an eye patch. That's all I saw as it listed as. So
okay, so there was another movie made
to the original, not to this one.
Okay, have you ever seen that?
1972? No, I hadn't even heard of it. But it's called Beware with an exclamation point, the Blob.
That sounds like
exclamation point in the middle of the sentence.
Kind of like Mars Attacks! Exclamation point. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least Mars Attacks finishes the sentence. This one is right in the middle of it. So, so that's the original sequel. There might have been actually more. You know how many fucking sequels come out? I mean, there totally could be a sequel to this movie, but it was just maybe just not licensed or anything.
I looked, because I was like, I got to see it. Like, this was so good. But then again, I can't imagine them like spending as much money as they did on like a sequel if it didn't obviously make.
No, yeah, if it exists, which I'm sure it doesn't, but if somebody just somehow made a knockoff or unofficial sequel, maybe. So,
yeah, and of course, like any, problem, it's got to have a solution, and the solution here is that it doesn't like the cold. So, good thing it's a ski town.
Wait a minute, is it a ski town?
Yeah,
is that why they have the Zamboni? I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess I never thought about it. It's like, I guess I always took it for granted. I was like, I guess that's what the guy at the mechanic
just happens to have one. So. Yeah. No, the idea was that
you don't see any mountains or skiing or anything. So
no, you don't, and that would have been helpful. But like because there was like a quick moment in the beginning at the diner where the woman is talking, and then there's another moment between Kevin Dillon when they throw each other like beers or whatever in that like scene. Both times they kind of allude to the fact that there hasn't been snow in it for a long time, and that's what's like keeping tourists away, and everybody's desperate in town because they're not making money, which is like maybe playing into the plot somehow of why they would like send the Blob to that town, because it's like, well, these people are fucked anyway, let's just send it here and experiment on them.
That went all over my head.
Well, I've
seen this movie a dozen times and I never put any of that together.
It may be a stretch on me, but that's kind of what I got out of it, because they do make sure to mention that like this is like a struggling town that basically like nobody comes to the diner anymore, and they're talking about it because there hasn't been snow in a long time. And that's what Kevin Dillon said, is like, everybody out here is fucking desperate because there's no snow. And then that guy says that's fixing the bike or the snowmobile, he's like, just you wait. He's like, there's going to be so much snow in town, which is of course like alluding to later on. He says, so yeah, I told you there was going to be snow after it happens, if you remember that.
See, this is the beauty. This is why monster movies are my fucking favorite thing in the world, because a monster can be a metaphor for anything. A small struggling town that doesn't have enough snow.
Right.
Boom. You just have a monster represent that. So
let's go get him.
It's so fucking beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I do love the small town setting. You really do kind of it sits with the whole movie, just in terms of like where the scenes are. You know, it's just people sitting in their car. You know, that's why he has a whole fucking bar in his trunk, because all there is to do to take a date out is just go drive and park somewhere. It's the diner, it's the movie theater. That's obviously a throwback to the original movie. And the diner too, actually. It's just kind of flipped. The original ends in the diner with the blob covering it. But everything just is so represented well as being like a closed off small town, and how they would react to a monster if it did come. So,
well, great movies like that, like you said, like what is it, 30 Days of Night does that, where it's like a small town, and of course the vampires are coming in and they're taking advantage of that. But also then you've got well, just like a lot of films are, you're saying, like Sleepy Hollow, like, okay, it's a small town and it's like they're all
Tremors,
yeah,
the smallest town.
the smallest town, like all of those films are so great when you kind of like know that, like, okay, it's contained in this place and these people, there's not a lot like of places to go or anything, and we all have to either like band together or like, and the movie does a great job. The Blob, this film we're talking about, does a really great job, kind of like Halloween, where it like sets the stage at the beginning and shows the places that it's going to, like, you know, be at. Like the great thing about Halloween is that like later on it shows the places that the horror happened, you know, and it shows them empty and quiet. But like this is a little bit of that reverse, and it's, you know, a precursor to what you're going to see.
I was thinking the other day that the ending to the original Halloween, which I'm going to see tonight at the Logan Theater.
So. Oh, right. Yes, sir. I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, dude, the last 30 seconds is the best ending to a movie ever.
With the breathing.
Just the breathing and showing the spots, just representing Michael. The shape could be anywhere. Yeah. Showing like where it was.
Which is truly terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like showing the contained shots. Carpenter, that's why Carpenter fucking rules, just showing the contained shots with the breathing, showing that he's everywhere, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. But that's like the cool thing, like maybe people were all like, there again, this movie does feel like it. You can't pinpoint exactly, like I mentioned with E.T., and at this point, you know, Halloween had already been done, but maybe all of these things are like intentionally done. Like this is like the formula of a good horror movie has already been, like, you know, the years prior has been like set up to, like, now everybody's kind of borrowing, you know, different things like that, like showing these locations and, like, you know, precursor to what is to happen here. And yeah, anyway.
Love it. Horror culture just eating itself. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this movie.
Well, so on our top three,
any other thoughts?
Well, I was going to say on our top three films that we've done of this trilogy that you're had very brilliantly curated, which was The Thing, The Fly, and then this film, The Blob. What is your favorite of the three?
I'm a sucker for creature features, as you were just naming those off. I fucking love them. It goes in order, the way we've watched them. The Thing is arguably one of my favorite movies of all time. The Fly after that, and then The Blob.
Gotcha.
And I love The Blob. So it's like, you know, there's not like a huge chasm between The Thing and The Blob, but it's definitely noticeable. That's how I would rank them myself. So
I would say, like, so, like, I just want to say this because it's on my mind. And it's not necessarily about The Blob, but, you know, the Welcome to Derry show just came out on HBO, and we watched that first episode. And then, you know, my girlfriend had never seen the remake, the second part of it, and so we were watching it, and like there's a scene where the head of the Stanley character turns into like a spider, and it's so fucking clearly, like, you know, taken from The Thing, but it fucked with her for like all night. She was like, man, I'm having anxiety about this, like thinking about that scene. And I was like, well, you better never see The Thing, you know, because holy fucking shit, like done with practical effects, it's even better. That's the problem with it for me. It's so CGI with all of the things. It's like, even this new show, Welcome to Derry, I was very disappointed with the first episode, except for one like thing that happened in the beginning. But even then, it's still like so much CGI, you know?
That's what it means. That's just the industry standard. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's what's unique about the 80s. It'll never be the standard to have practical effects. It's just going to be, it'll just never happen again. So, I know there was a spider in the book and the original movie. I'm trying to remember because I saw both those new It's and I don't really remember anything about them.
Yeah, they're fine. It's also like playing on the 80s, like kind of throwback in it because of the fact that at the time when the first one was made, I'm pretty sure Stranger Things was like really rolling. And also like the original.
And I mean, and again, Stranger Things is 100% just like John Carpenter renewed series. I mean, that's why that show like hit so much because of the influence on John Carpenter.
Yeah, like the shit we're talking about right now. They just like they're I think my girlfriend told me like when they went and pitched that show, they basically just pitched like the story and showed pictures of the movies that they were going to rip off. Like, you know, and would work.
Pay homage.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
same
of course.
Same.
And of course,
no, I say that jokingly, but you're right. It's one and the same. So,
I mean, do you like the Stranger Things? That's an interesting thing. Like, I'm not a big fan.
I saw the first episode. I never saw anything after that. So.
Why? Because you didn't like the first episode or just not interested?
No specific reason. I just didn't watch it.
Gotcha.
It's really as simple as that. It seems fine, and then the way people talk about it, it's like I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So
yeah,
I'm sure
good.
It's great, but
it's good. And of course, you've got like Winona, and then you've also got like Sean Astin, and you got people that they bring back that are from 80s movies.
I would like to see Sean Astin. So.
Yeah, and there's parts about it that I like, but dude, I don't get it as much as everybody else does. It's a phenomenon for sure, and I'm in it. I like it, and I've gone to like some of the events that they do, which are fun, and it's fun. Yeah. But I think of people like us who really know these movies that they're paying homage to, like you'd rather just kind of watch those,
Yeah, I mean it's a generational thing. All the stuff that we love was paying homage to other stuff, just maybe not as blatantly, but it's culture recycles itself more than ever now. It seems.
I mean, any interest in seeing these new Frankenstein films that are coming out?
Well, it's Guillermo, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'll watch anything Guillermo does. So yeah, right. That one just came out this weekend. So,
but then there's another Bride of Frankenstein film that's coming out, I guess. With I don't know much about it, but I do know that Batman, 2005 Batman is like playing Frankenstein, I think.
George Clooney.
No, 2005's Batman. Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Christopher
Bale. Chris. God, why, dude? I'm sorry.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. Dude, I'm sorry. As per usual, my brain is complete mush from just all the shit I'm doing. But yes,
now I want to see a Crispin Glover Bride of Frankenstein. So
that would be interesting.
He was just at the Music Box the other night. I totally missed it. So he was presenting one of his new movies. So they're actually screening the original Back to the Future on the Dolby IMAX downtown at River East on Saturday. So might go see that. So on the best screen in the city. So
I think you should. Should see that. Should go see that.
Should be good. All right. Anything else on the Blob? How about you? What's your ranking for these three?
Oh, of all these films? That's interesting. Yeah, I would probably put. And they're all great. So I always
there's no wrong answer.
Yeah. Honestly, I had the most fun with the Blob.
Really? Okay, nice.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Because I mean, that was the first one. This is the first one that you had never seen before. So
yes,
for this episode, so that's part of it, I'm sure.
Always cool too when you're like shockingly surprised at how much you like it and how holy shit, how could I have not seen this? But I would say if I'm going to rank them, of course, The Thing, and then The Blob, and then probably The Fly. But I fucking love The Fly, so it's weird to put it at last. But yeah, you get it.
The Fly is, I mean, this one is by far the most fun movie to watch. The other two are, I certainly wouldn't call them not fun, but they are far more serious movies than this one.
Exactly.
So, But that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. The way that this one maintained the true 50s B horror movie sensibilities. That's one of the biggest strengths of it.
And like that kind of stuff too, just like those B, like even like all of those 50s kind of films are like always up my alley. So I think that's why I kind of do love like when there is like a B movie kind of feel to these.
Yeah, totally. Love it. All right. Well, that wraps up our 80s remakes of 50s horror films in October 2025. Been a kick-ass horror season for us, I think. So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's new in your world for October as we're about to close it out?
Just watching the Halloween movies for sure. Going to see the original, like I said, tonight. Been watching a bunch of the old ones. I was thinking I picked out my top 3 performances in the entire franchise. It's Jamie Lee Curtis in H2O.
Oh, so fucking good.
Scout Taylor Compton in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Her facing trauma after the first one and just going through it all through the second one. I fucking love. And then I'm forgetting his name. Corey in Halloween Ends.
Oh, fuck. Really?
I fucking love Corey in Halloween Ends.
I like Corey too, and I like the story of it, but I'm interested.
Rowan Campbell. I think he's fucking the way, and it's you cannot like the writing of it, but the way that they wanted that character to be, the amount of different vibes he has to give throughout that whole movie from start to finish. He's got to play the fucking harmless nerd at the beginning who's just the babysitter. He's got to play the tortured guy after that. He's got to play the guy actually going insane after that. He's got to play the guy feeling like he's going insane. You can say what you want about that movie. I mean, I fucking love it. It's honestly become my favorite of that trilogy now. But I just fucking love Rohan Campbell in that movie. I think he's awesome. So those are rewatching a whole bunch of movies. I realized that those are my 3 favorite performances, like in the entire franchise. So
awesome. Well,
not including any portrayals of Michael. That's that was a different.
It's hard too because like you get in the zombie, you get Malcolm McDowell as
so funny.
It was so good, so it's like for you to be choosing your 3 favorite performances.
True.
Not say him, but then again, there's so many. Like then you have to pass over Donald Pleasance too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those are just the 3 that have consistently stood out to me. And yeah, again, I would say it. Rob Zombie Halloween 2 keeps on toying with being my number 1 Halloween movie of all time. So,
I mean, Barry and fucking Halloween 666. Probably my favorite of all of them. Barry kicks ass. The radio DJ.
Okay, I was going to say I was forgetting who Barry was, but the radio DJ, hell yeah, I love that. Yeah, I like that they bring the DJ vibe back for Halloween Ends. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's got that. I think it's his ear, and it's just that's going on the turntable and skipping
the town disc jockey. Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Wow. Cool. Anything else? So you're going to see some films around town. That's great. Such a great time in Chicago. It's been probably really fall, probably amazing right now.
Halloween rewatches. 49 days until Avatar 3.
We're really getting there, huh?
Really getting there, but got some physical media. Let's stick with John Carpenter. I got a couple of 4Ks. They were on sale from Scream Factory. A couple of movies we talked about recently, so we'll stick with John Carpenter. Vampires, starring James Woods. I rewatched both of these ones I picked up. I love this movie. This is a hardcore, underrated John Carpenter movie. It's such a great Western. The music is awesome. It's such a good hangout vibe. The plot is a little thin sometimes, but it has such a good hangout vibe, and I just fucking love it. It's such a good vibe. So
I think I told you it's on Criterion. I gotta watch it. Man, like the list is just so long. I've never seen it, but that's such a great review.
And then actually another Carpenter, late stage Carpenter that I mentioned, got the 4K Ghost of Mars.
Yeah.
And up until this week, I was very much, this movie's not that great. And I'm kind of flipping on this movie now. So maybe it's just time. This movie still has, tons of people hate this movie, but it does have its defenders. And the things I don't like about it, some of its editing and some of the writing, it's one of those movies where like everybody is telling somebody else what just happened. Like it's the whole movie set up with Natasha Henstridge telling like what happened on the planet. And then they keep on cutting to other people telling what other happened. So it does have some problems, but in terms of being an assault on precinct 13 kind of remake. And also, as I mentioned, like it was an originally like a third Escape from New York Snake Plissken script that was repurposed into this. So it keeps those vibes and an amazing score with a fucking kick-ass new metal score soundtrack to it with all the fight scenes. By no means is it like up there with The Thing or Big Trouble or Halloween, but it is one I've really kind of flipped on now. And I was really surprised. So, but that's the thing with these movies is just like ages, you know, anything. And maybe you could speak to this as an artist. If you bat 1,000%, you can't bat 1,000% all the time. You can't follow up something kick ass and then have please everybody, but then you add time to that. If you follow up something that's amazing with something that like is only okay received, you add time to that, people are going to come around to it, you know, because the 1,000%. Expectations. Yeah.
Well said. Just like to put it in the context of any artist, you know, like that's Hitchcock making Vertigo. It's like, okay, nobody.
Yeah. How do you how do you follow it up?
Right. And make Psycho. And it's like everybody loves it, but nobody thinks about Vertigo. Now Vertigo is looked at as like the biggest film that he's ever did or one of the most important, but at the time, a total flop, you know?
Was Vertigo his first movie after Psycho?
No, it was right before it. So
it was right before.
58,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then interestingly enough, in 58, another film that came out with both of the leading characters of that film, Velvet and Candle, came out, which is Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak, same year. But they also did Vertigo. Yeah. And then he does Psycho, and it's like fucking blows the doors off of everybody. But yeah, for some reason, you know, it took a long time for people to come around to that. And I think that's the cool thing, like about Criterion, is like, you just kind of feel like I better give this another look, you know, when they say it's like awesome, you know?
Hell yeah.
You just trust. Really, trust.
Really quick, we'll stick with Criterion for my last physical media. Finally got my A History of Violence 4K in, and I love this cover so much. I don't understand this art style, but it has this 70s almost paperback novel kind of cartoonish vibe to it. I'm sure somebody smarter than me can tell me what the influence is, but I absolutely love that that's the direction they went for this movie. So,
well, I mean, you talked about that film too a lot about like, you know, look, so the background and just like the style that you're talking about, but the background looks like it's like, okay, there's this another town movie, right? Like he's a small town and he's out there. But then of course, front and center, you got him in red, which is like what you don't know about the guy, the danger of him with, you know, the background being this like nice, quaint, colorful town that he lives in.
There's that artist eye that I need. My dumb ass can't pick that shit out. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah. You're welcome, Pat. I'm always here to, you know, lift you up.
I need your guidance. And last thing I'll say, John Carpenter, stick with John Carpenter all month. It makes sense. Performing live in your town tomorrow night in LA.
On Halloween.
I briefly toyed with hopping on a flight Friday morning just to go see that concert. Found out the next day he's live streaming the whole thing. So I'm getting to the old age where sitting in my living room watching the concert is just as appealing, if not more, than actually going to it. So
that's pretty fucking cool.
Because I had seen them 2 times 10 years ago, and they were 2 of my favorite concerts of all time. So
I know you talked about that, and again, you know, I know he's up there in age, and it's like, I need to get out and see this stuff. It's like there's just like so much to do so often. I'm sure it's sold out by now, but yeah,
I don't think so. I think I saw it. Like that's why I was slightly toying with. I was like, I could still get a ticket, hop on a flight, go see him, have some kick-ass times in LA. So yeah, that's the problem with liking too much shit.
That's true. There's always something, especially in our towns, Chicago and LA. It's like, you know, there's always something competing against it. It's almost like, because your brain is like, I don't know what to fucking do. There's so much good shit. And it's like, then you do nothing, you know?
Yeah. I just bask in my movie collection on the nights that I can't decide. So,
well, you have a great one going. I appreciate that you always share with us some of the new additions to your collection. So that's cool. It's cool to know that both of those films I could watch tonight because they're on Criterion.
I think you would have a great time. Both scores. Yeah. The score to Vampires, and that's one of the other critiques of the Ghost of Mars. Ghost of Mars has an awesome John Carpenter score. He did the score for both those movies. Awesome score, but it only plays in the credits, and that's it. You never really hear it again, which kind of is like unusual for a John Carpenter movie. It's like his scores are so good, the movies consistently kind of replay him a little bit. There's variations of it in Ghost of Mars, but I think it's a missed opportunity. They end up playing too much new metal. So it's awesome, but like they kind of opt for the new metal over his score. But yeah, the score for Vampires, it's such a true Western. Like if you just watch it like with the mindset of like a hangout Western, I think you're going to have a great time watching it. So
kick ass. Yeah. It's on the list for sure. I started to watch, and I didn't finish it fully, but like they had What Lies Beneath. They have like a 2000s horror collection. Yeah.
I've never seen What Lies Beneath.
Well,
Robert Zemeckis.
Digging it. Yeah. And Zemeckis.
Yeah.
I'm digging it up into where I stopped, but then I went on this trip and everything, and it kind of got convoluted. So I want to finish that. I love Michelle Pfeiffer, just talking about her in general, Scarface, and then of course Batman, so, and then, Harrison Ford.
Best Catwoman ever. So.
Best Catwoman ever. Yeah. And Harrison Ford being in it. So I got to finish that. It's kind of got a little bit of like Hitchcock, like voyeurism.
Yeah.
And like interesting.
Doubles.
Yeah. So we have you, but you've never seen though.
Never seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, it's on my Criterion if you want to watch it. I finish that, and then maybe I'll hop over to Vampires. I also just really have been enjoying whatever I can that's spooky, and then I'll always kind of half watch something because I'm like, oh, I got H2O's out, I gotta watch H2O, and then you watch kind of half of it, and then you kind of okay, well, I can take a break because I've seen this movie 8,000 fucking times.
It's just kind of a background movie at this point.
Yeah,
just get a little tinge of it for get the hit.
Yeah, but this has been a chock full month for me. We did when we were young. I think I talked about that last time. I can't remember. Ass. Yeah, had a lot of great conversations with people that I've been working with over this last year, bands and stuff. Management people. So that was really great for me to be a part of, and we got the super stupid bro pass, which at this day and age of my age, can't really do all day in the sun, Las Vegas sun festivals. So I'm grateful for that. Did some live painting this month with a local restaurant that got a bunch of write-ups, and I was on the news. I was at fucking KTLA. It was pretty cool.
Making the rounds.
Yeah, it was awesome. They had a live band play at this Taco Tuesday event. It was really cool. And then I went on a night hike with a bunch of people, including the Dream Child, as I just mentioned. That was cool. I'm just going through the list of looking at things that I've done. We went and saw the Bob Baker marionettes at the in Pasadena. That was super cool, and they had the marionettes were all themed for Halloween. I don't know if you know much about them, but the marionettes are kind of a big deal here in Los Angeles, and that was really great. And then we went to what I was recently doing, San Francisco, and man, I had a great time out there, but man, I am tired. I'm literally exhausted right now. We went out there to Berkeley and saw Murder by Death. I did the poster for their show in Berkeley.
Yeah.
A 5.5, 6 hour drive.
Kick ass.
Yeah, really kick ass.
I saw that poster. It looked awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I put a lot, I asked, I don't know if I've told this story or not, but I asked the lead singer. I've loved that band forever, and they're doing a farewell tour, 25 years. And I asked the lead singer. I have a friend. I went to see them in a cave in 2015 in Kentucky, and I met a girl there that was just super cool and loved the band too. And she was hanging out, and she ended up over the years joining the band as one of their violinists. And so I know her, and we've hung out before. And I asked her if do you think there's any possibility I could do art for this band? I'll do it for free, just to contribute. And the lead singer, Adam, was yeah. So I did it for this Berkeley show. And we got to kill two birds with one stone, see some family that's out there, and also then go to the show. And it was just a dream come true. They signed the poster for me that I did for the show. And then we drove all the way back out yesterday to see him in LA. Dodgers fucking game traffic. Drove right up into getting to the show, saw their set. It was even 1,000 times better than the one we saw in San Francisco. If that's the last time I see one of my favorite bands, I will be completely stoked. So yeah, dude, I'm like literally on fumes right now, but I couldn't be like more happy. I get to do this with you. Like it's been a great October, but it's one of those ones where it's like everything was so chaotic and crazy
Yeah.
that I almost can't remember it, like happening. It's so crazy. But thank God we would get 3 episodes in this month of like some of the coolest movies that we've covered. So that, my friend, is the highlight. And yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I can go into the music. I know you gotta get going at some point, but I wanted to show you my music pick. So do you know what I'm gonna pick?
Oh, well, I mean, a little Killer Klowns action.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever added it. So I'm kind of like, so check this out. This is the vinyl.
Beautiful vinyl.
Yeah, I've had this forever. If you're not watching, I'm showing the Killer Klowns from Outer Space vinyl, and check out the back, dude. How fucking cool is that?
Is that JoJo?
I don't remember the names of all of them, but yeah, it might be JoJo.
JoJo might be the really small one, but I'm forgetting. Oh,
it's a really great vinyl. And anyway, nice. I got this like probably when I was like 18 or something like that. I can't remember what it looks like inside. Oh, like I don't know.
I saw them at Riot just a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah. They're a Riot Fest staple band for sure. Yeah. I saw them at one of the original Riot Fests before they would do it in one spot. But anyway,
I mean, I still remember like hearing that song for the first time when I was a little kid, just catching Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It was always on the Sci-Fi channel. I still remember looking. Oh my God, I'm making myself sound old all the time. On the TV guide, I would look on the TV guide every week. Under K, see if Killer Klowns from Outer Space was playing, and I would come home and look for that. And oftentimes it was on a Friday night, so it was like, all right, that's what I'm doing Friday night. And I still remember hearing that song for the first time. It was just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? This is unlike anything I've ever heard. It sounds awesome. It looks awesome. That's why it's an absolute classic. And I know you feel the same, but yeah, that song is a huge part of why that movie was stapled in our minds at a young age.
I agree.
Sure.
It starts the movie,
it's so it's like fucking
opening.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they do that whole thing, but like just punk rock. And yeah, the guy's got such a weird voice. He's like, it's cotton candy in there and jacaranda, like all that kind of stuff. He's got the vibrato in his voice. It's so weird and perfect pairing. That film could not be any better. The way that I think I told you in 2 years ago now, like the first time I've ever done Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and I haven't gone back because it's so expensive and you got to get the fast fucking pass and all this shit. But I will just tell you that like they did, I think they probably, we were talking about rights in the last episode. They must have gotten the rights that were let up because now you can get a lot of Killer Clown stuff. But back before I had seen that at Universal, like I don't remember them ever having any toys or anything. And Universal.
Well, yeah. So we talked about that. Either is that rights or is that just culture catching up with it, and now it's more popular than ever. So I don't know.
No, if you're listening, let us know because I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah.
There is something with the rights because I've heard the Kyoto brothers talk about how they can't make more movies. If it was up to them, they would have made tons of sequels, but they couldn't do it. So I know
they must have had a bum deal where they like sold the rights like before they made it. But anyway, this film is close in our hearts, both of ours. And at that Universal Horror Nights, it was so well done, Pat. I'm telling, like you would go up and it was like a line around, like whatever. But in the line, it's the tent that is like where you're going to go in and see everything. And it's like they got the guy out there pretending like, he's the old man with the dog, and he's like, Pooh Bear.
Where's my Pooh Bear
dog? And then he electrocutes himself, and then like it resets and he comes back out. But they have actors, it's LA. It's so fucking great. And then when you go in, like everything, the Mooney thing where he's like being like a dummy, like you go in that room and you're like right there. And it's like the actors look just like the people in the movie. Terrific. So anyway, that's my song pick for this Halloween Eve 2025, Killer Klowns from Outer Space by the Dickies.
That's beautiful. You're reminding me, I saw a viewing of Killer Klowns at the Music Box about 2 years ago.
Cool.
And they went all out with the theatrics. They kind of did like a Vincent Price cheesy stuff going on. They strung up a couple of the cotton candy cocoons, like life size, and they like railed it across
at the music box.
At the music box, that's not something they normally ever do, but they went full like 50s theatrics, where it was just like they were stringing it along across the entire ceiling, and it was just adding so much to the ambience of it. They were having a lot of fun with sold out showing. So like I said, that movie has caught up the audience. Like that is one that a lot of people know and love now. So
yeah, you don't doubt that that's a cult classic. It's almost like just a classic now,
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, that's kick-ass pick. Can't compete with that. I got a completely different vibe. Leonard Cohen is my autumn kind of vibe sometimes. In addition to the horror soundtracks, he's got the fall autumnal kind of vibe. So always love Leonard Cohen. So this week I'm going with Last Year's Man, one of my favorite Cohen songs. So it's off of Songs of Love and Hate from 1971. What I love about Leonard Cohen just in general is that he was kind of like a spiritual nomad. Like he was born Jewish, but like he practiced and like explored so many different religions. I think he was officially like a Zen monk at some point, like
later in life,
actual practice. Yeah, throughout his whole life for sure. But like that's kind of what I like about the spiritual aspect of his music, is that it's wide reaching, and it's like it almost is like he had like almost like a mission to like not be beholden to any one religion, but just kind of explore the spirituality of so much different stuff. And that definitely comes through with his music, and a lot of spiritual and religious references in Last Year's Man. And it just has that vibe that I absolutely love, and sounds perfect on a gray October afternoon. So
cool. If you're living in Chicago or the Midwest, that is. Otherwise it's sunny and fucking 90 degrees like it is here in Los Angeles today.
Oh, it's 90 degrees where you're at right now?
Pretty close. I would think that it's probably 85, if not 90. Yeah. It's pretty hot today.
I cannot fucking wait for winter.
But yeah, honestly, it's weird because, San Francisco, it was like fucking perfect, like 70 degrees. But then like at night, 50 degrees, like maybe 45. Like it gets colder. California is just like so big, it's like if you're close by the water like that, like you kind of feel like you're in that, I don't know, fall Halloween type vibe.
Fuck yeah.
One last thing I want to say before we move on. Cool. So Leonard Cohen, we're going to add that. If you don't know anything about the jukebox, we have this most eclectic mix of songs in there, including the great Warren Zevon, who just had a tribute concert and is getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We haven't talked about this. So over the last couple of years, he's been kind of like left out, and now he's finally getting into the Hollywood, or not Hollywood, but just to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they had this concert that I totally missed. I was out of town for it, but on Friday they had a concert for him.
I did not. I'm slipping in my old age and my Warren Zevon fandom. I did not know about it.
Yeah, it was a big deal. But yeah, I missed it all because I was out of town. So we both missed it, I suppose. Look it up. And I just wanted to, we love Warren Zevon on this podcast. We have an episode dedicated to a great book of his, or about him. But yeah, Zevon. That's some Zevon news.
Join me in LA tribute concert. Gathers. Oh my god. Yeah, this was not on my radar. Fuck. Hopefully this is getting recorded or something, and like a full taping that I can purchase.
Yeah, it says the United Theater Los Angeles was where it was, which is like the United Artists Theater that Chaplin was part of. That's downtown LA. That's where it was. And I'm just reading here, 23 years ago, the entire episode of The Late Show with David Letterman, when Zevon's last appearance was taped 23 years ago today. So maybe, I
remember showing you that, and it's kind of being like, first time we were talking about Zevon. It was like watching that Letterman stuff. I had that DVD that I passed around.
That DVD is so great because I also remember what was that? Like,
it was a VH1. Yeah. It was like a semi-documentary of the recording of his last album.
That's right.
Which he knew he was dying at the time, if you were not familiar with it. So.
Also, one thing about Zevon, after reading that book and just knowing that his struggles with addiction, one thing that I just think is just like so badass. Not that bad. It's badass that he went back to like drugs and booze and whatever in his later years. Maybe it was just booze, but like he was like, fuck it. And I love that about Zevon, like, because he is, I don't know. He's just
hard
a
to argue with.
badass, you know?
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that rationale. The semi-reunited Fountains of Wayne were apparently there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I had heard that they were getting back together. You know, I love Fountains of Wayne, so it's kind of interesting without Adam Schlesinger, but yeah.
Dwight Yoakam. Fuck, I'm definitely looking for this now. So,
yeah, I thought if you hadn't brought it up that you might not have known, but so yeah.
Gersonius is involved in the forthcoming release of a live album that will present Zevon's final concert on disc for the first time for Record Store Day Black Friday. All right. I have plenty of research to do this weekend for upcoming Zevon stuff. So
yeah, well, I know you got to get going, and this was a good episode to kind of wrap up our trilogy of 50s films remade in the 80s. And if you don't know, there's 3 episodes before that you can take a look at. Also, a ton of other films. This is what, episode 82 or something like that. Like we're getting underway with a lot of. We're almost at 100, and you
better come up with something special for episode 100. I chose 50, so you're gonna have to pick an essential one for 100. Well, maybe Klowns from outer space. Who knows? So
you never know. You know, we haven't covered Vertigo yet as well, so maybe we'll see. I'll keep you guessing, Patrick.
This is a special one for sure. Yeah. Kick-ass. Thank you for indulging me with all this 80s practical effects. It's near and dear to my heart, so happy to share it with you and happy to hear that you loved it so much. So,
well, fuck yeah. Happy Halloween. Enjoy Halloween tonight. And yeah, we'll catch back up here in November.
Happy Halloween to y'all. See ya.
See ya. Bye.